one more chance. With the number of chances we created in the game, I thought we would have been able to create one or two more, and the boys would have probably have scored from there, one way or the other. You can also remember that when Obafemi Martins came on, he was able to get himself in the thick of the action almost instantly and could have scored. I want to imagine that if the game was still goalless at that time, Obafemi Martins could have gotten a goal or two, because he also got a chance or two during the course of the game, and which you really have to give kudos for. So I wouldn't completely say that we are struggling to create chances. Yes, we struggled at some point, but then we created enough chances in this game to have scored 4-5 goals.
All right, well, I do hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I just have to tell you this to let you know that at least 28 people have been killed following an explosion which hit Yola, the Adamawa state capital, northeast Nigeria, this evening. At least 28 people have been killed following that explosion. According to our correspondent in Yola, the blast was set off by a suicide bomber at the Jambutu bypass in the Jimeta area of the city about 8 p.m. Many of the injured are said to have been rushed to the hospital in Yola, where they are being treated. This piece of breaking news just coming in, just to let you know again that at least 28 people have been killed following an explosion which hit Yola, the Adamawa state capital, northeast Nigeria, this evening. We just hope that these incidents will stop in our dear country, and of course won't be reading about it anymore. We'll bring you much details later on our news bulletin, and if anything comes in, we'll gladly let you know what is going on. Guys, in spite of that piece of news, we just have to continue with what we're doing and talk about the game, even though it's kind of, you know, affects the mood a little, but we have to move on, really. And quickly, let's talk about the inclusion of the home-based players in the team: Paul Onobi, Chima Akas, and Austin Obarakpo. Did you think those players, those changes made by the coach, affected you know, the outcome in any way?
Well, when I saw the lineup, I was shocked, because if you look at the players that were dropped, they were big players that have been part and parcel of the team. You talk about Austin coming in for Obabona, you had Onobi coming in for, you know, Mikelobi. For me, that was the most shocking of the inclusions. You also had Chimakas coming in for Elders in Iwa Chijili, and those three guys, they stamped the authority in the game. They all had a decent game. I mean, from Paul Onobi to Austin to Chimakas, all of them had a decent game, and it brings that sort of confidence in the home-based class, because those players are good. They're part and parcel of the team that ensured we qualified for CHAN next year. So I think it's a good advertisement for the league. It's good to know that our coaches can integrate these home-based players amongst the foreign-based players. So it's a good one. And let's just hope they'll be given more and more opportunities to, you know, showcase their talent in the Super Eagles.
Tolu, those changes, what did you think it played any role?
It's one, reduce the number of long balls we played. Because if we don't have John Mikelobi, it means the number of long balls will be reduced. I'm not advocating for a reduction in the number of long balls. I'm only saying that when Paul Onobi plays, and I've watched him play for a season or two now for Sunshine Stars of Akure, he plays similar pattern to John Mikelobi. The difference is that he will not be adventurous. He will not try the long balls that Mikelobi sometimes take on. Now, you wouldn't blame Mikel. He hardly does it at Chelsea. But when he plays for Nigeria, he has this responsibility falling on him to create something even from deep, which leads him to, you know, making the long ball, long passes forward. But for Paul Onobi, I think the key difference was that we looked a lot more solid, and then Onazi had the freedom to go forward just as far as he wanted to go, and Sylvester Igbon also didn't have to track back too much. It looked like these guys just had this freedom somehow within themselves. With John Mikelobi could have been different. Onobi might have been trying to play in a way such as to accommodate, or let me say, allow Mikel also enjoy his game, but it looked different entirely. Not like they really dominated in midfield, but the presence of Paul Onobi was
slightly better,
was significant.
All right, guys, let's quickly do this before we leave this and go to the other things happening on the African continent. Let's rate the players on a scale of 1 to 10. Carl Ikeme in goal, Abdullahi at right back, Austin, Pierin at Ife at centre back, Chima Akas defense, Paul Onobi, like you said, Ogenyi Onazi, Sylvester Igbonu midfield, Moses Simon, Ahmed Musa, Odion Igalo. Before we talk about the substitute, so let me allow to quickly do that. Pick out those individuals.
Carl Ikeme came up brightly when we needed it most. You know, when we're leading by a goal to nil, and then he had to make that crucial save that could have brought us
could have changed the complexion of the game.
So I'll give him a 7 because that is important. Goalkeepers don't win you titles in some cases, as people say, but then they always keep you crucial points.
They always keep you
in the game. Right back, Shehu Abdullahi. It is not his natural position, so he didn't have his best of games again going forward, but he was solid on his own. He hardly got beaten, so I'll give him a 6. Efian Bruce with the goal, 7 please. Austin Obarapo, another 7. Chimaka's not too impressive also, looked like he had this restriction going forward, so I'll give him a 6. Paul Onobi was decent, so he gets a 6 from me. Ogenyo Nazi gets a 6. Something Sylvester Igbono does really well, or did really well today, was reminding me of Sunday Omba, how he links midfield and attack conveniently, so he gets a 7 for that performance. Our captain, Ahmed Musa, wasn't good enough today. I will give him a 5. I thought he was the worst player on the field today, while centre forward, Odion Igalo snatched at too many chances, so I'll score him a 6. While Moses Simon was just out of this world at some points. Very, very fantastic. 1 minute, the other minute looks very average, but that goal and the other aspects of the game, which he improved gladly, so I'll give him another 7.
Can you quickly rate the substitute, Ezekiel Bassi, Bafemi Martins? Did they have time to?
Ezekiel Bassi didn't do much, so I'll just give him a 5. Bafemi Martins, instant spark while he came on, so 6.
The aggression,
the aggression. Just he could have gotten a goal, you know, if not for that handball. And I thought he would have scored it. I was standing up and ready to celebrate that goal, but come on, the referee, the official got his work spot on.
Yeah, Julian.
Well, Carl, that big save really I didn't have much to do, so a 6 is a fair enough for Shehu Abdullahi. Despite losing his mom sometime last week, he still had that composure to play
of mind
over to 2 legs, so I'll give him a 7. He had a decent shift. Chimaka's fantastic, a 7 as well.
Despite of 1 or 2 mistakes.
Exactly. For Austin, it's a decent player. It's first game for the main Super Eagles, so I think on that premise he'll get a 7. If Ambrose, fantastic performance, capped it all up with the goal, so he gets a 7 for me. Onobi was massive, stepping in the big shoes of Mikel. I'll give him an 8/10. For me, I felt he had a decent performance in the midfield. Onaze, yes, he will always give his best, so I wasn't surprised. A 7 will do for me. Sylvester, 90 minutes was massive. The assist for the second goal as well. Also, you know, had a decent game all through, so I think I'll give him a 7 as well. So Musa, like Tolu said, he was the worst player on the pitch. He gets a 4 for me. Odion Jude, he gets a 5. He had lots of chances to have easily scored a hat-trick in today's game, so he gets a 5. And for Moses Simon, come on, he was the man of the match, so he gets a 9 for me.
Okay, what about the
Martins? Yes, really didn't have enough time, some 10-12 minutes or thereabout, but like he said, I almost thought he would score that goal, but a player of that experience, I mean, what was he controlling the ball with his hand for? Perhaps if he had controlled the ball better.
Sometimes get away with it.
Exactly, but the linesman spotted that, and I think I just gave the Swaziland hope of not seeing a third goal, so I think a 6 decent one for him. And for Ezekiel Bassi, the best he did was ensuring the Tanzanians were picking up yellow cards here and there. And he just came on to enjoy himself. 7 minutes of action. Good. I think it's a decent performance, so I think it's a 6 or a 7 will do for me.
Okay, the guys have done the job. I think I've just. I mean, I have nothing else to add.
We didn't read the coach.
Okay, you talk about the coach. You talk about the coach. I think this comment is a little unfair, but you know, I'll just read it anyway. Momo Sani Momodu says Olise analyzes matches better than being a coach. African Pep Guardiola on paper. I think this is, you know, it echoes the sentiments that a lot of people have, but I think this is unfair. I mean, early stages yet.
It's a two-way thing any way you look at it. I mean, we should not really celebrate or read too much meaning in beating Swaziland. Trust me, it wasn't just a show in the park. We labored over 2 legs.
Okay, let's take this one.
That's what I think.
Let's take this one. Olusegun Kishaku, I hope I got your name right. Forgive me if I don't. A win is a win at this stage of the qualifier. One cannot be talking about the Super Eagles as a giant. I think, probably agreeing with you that we should not over-celebrate this victory over Swaziland. But guys, before we go on the break, I'm going to hit you a little, because anybody listening to you, you know, with the ratings you've given to those players, you know, it's a sharp contrast with you also telling us not to over-celebrate. I mean, you're rating players, you're giving them 8, you're giving them 7 in one breath, and you're telling us don't get carried away. I don't know. Am I missing something?
I think for me, I still maintain my stance. We should not get carried away. Come on, it's Swaziland. Anyone can.
Even if it was a decent performance.
Even if it was a decent performance, but when we start seeing consistent performances like this against the top teams, we all celebrated when we beat Cameroon 3-0 because it was a 5-star performance from the guys. So we want loads and loads of consistent performance. That's where we can. Consistency should.